Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to another episode. We're here doing it big time in the bedroom. Um, how's everyone doing? Having a good day? Enjoying the weather? Enjoying the holiday season? Happy Christopher Columbus Day and happy Indigenous People Day. Jesus Christ, did you see President Trump go ahead and put out a tweet saying Happy Columbus Day? I mean, I haven't always been like the most politically correct person, but just sometimes there's some things that you shouldn't do, but it's the world we live in, right? It's chaos everywhere we look now. Holy crap, man, I made a mistake. I did exactly what I always say I don't do. So sometimes I go places and, when I go certain places, I don't expect certain things. So let's say I go to, we're going to use McDonald's, for example. When I go to McDonald's, I can't expect to get the best customer service. I also can't expect to get the best food. It's McDonald's. It is what it is. It's cheap food. You get it on the run. You get it because there's nothing else around at the time to eat, right? So that's what McDonald's is. So in my head, I'm aware of that. I know I shouldn't go there and expect to get a 5-course meal. And if I do and I'm upset, it's because of me. It's my fault. I went in there expecting something where I should never even put my expectations that high. Not shitting on McDonald's, not shitting on people who work at McDonald's. It's just, it is what it is, right? It's not a job that requires a lot of experience. It's not a job that requires college education. It's not a job that requires, it just requires you to show up and work. And don't get me wrong, I've always worked at those jobs. Those are the jobs that I work at. I worked in the restaurant industry for long enough. There's skilled jobs. I don't like when people say they're not skilled jobs because they are skilled jobs. Like, you have to be able to multitask. You got to be quick. You got to be able to think on your feet. Being a server is one of the hardest jobs I've ever done. Like, stress-wise, when it gets really busy, holy shit, but you can't just walk out of the restaurant. You can't do that shit. Anyways, I digress. We need to get back. Holy shit, that's so cool. That's a brain made of money. I got this new book called The Psychology of Money. I haven't read it yet. It's by Morgan Housel. It just came in the mail. Just came in from Amazon. It took about 3 weeks to get here. Amazon's weird like that. Sometimes you order something from Amazon and it comes from, I don't know where it comes from. It comes some random place. It doesn't come from the hub, the Amazon hub. The back's all marked up. It looks like it's been used 12,000 times. It looks like it was buried in a backyard and someone dug it up, and then put a label on it and shipped it out here to me. But yeah, I'm super excited. It's how to manage money, invest it, make business decisions are typically considered to involve a lot of mathematical calculations where data and formulate tell us exactly what to do. But in the real world, people don't make financial decisions on a spreadsheet. They make them at a dinner table, meeting room where personal history, your unique view on the world, ego, pride, marketing, and odd incentives are scrambled together. Psychology of Money, the author shares 19 short stories explaining the strange ways people think about money. It teaches you how to make better sense of one of life's most important matters. So I'm really excited to read this book. It's like I've mentioned hundreds of times on the show. That's kind of where my head's been lately. It's just money, 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 money. Not in a bad. First of all, money is not the root of all evil. There's such a weird stigma with making money. There's such a weird stigma with having money. There's such a weird stigma with working hard to make your income higher. It's such a broken mindset. I understand because I used to think that too. I used to think that making money was objectively a bad thing, but it's not a bad thing. The idea of having money is good. It's good for your family. It's good for you. It's good for your future. It's good for your state of mind. It's good for the people around you. For me, the act of making money makes me a better person. Having it as an incentive makes me a better human being. It gives me, it's like when you have a dog and your dog loves to fetch. Your dog loves chasing balls all day. That's how I feel about it. Like it's a mission, and if it's fulfilling, even if I don't have a day where I make a decent amount of money, or if I have a week where I don't do as well as I did on the prior week, it's not a big deal, because for me, it's all about the process. The process is so addicting. Um, it's so addicting. I was talking yesterday to one of my friends, and we were talking about for sale in the Indian subcontinent only. That's probably why it's a weird looking book, because it wasn't supposed to be it wasn't supposed to be sold here. It says Indian subcontinent only. What is the subcontinent of Indian? I don't know. I don't want to say. I want to say that's like, I don't know. Indian subcontinent countries. Okay, so it's India, Pakistan, Nepal. Wait, India, Nepal, Pakistan. What else? What else? Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar. Myanmar is a country that made gay people illegal, right? Isn't Myanmar the country where the leader came out and said that you can now stone gay people again? I think that's the country. I hope I'm right, because if I'm wrong, then that's 7 countries. Okay, 7 countries: Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka. That's an island off the southeast. Pretty much just the south of India. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, I was talking about. I think I was talking about money. Yeah, money's not the root of all evil, right? Like, and then we were asking. This is what I was talking about. We were asking this question about if you were given a generational wealth in a one sum check, how would you do with it? It's a question that I've always been so quick to answer, because I feel like for me, it would be such an easy response. I wouldn't do well. Like, if I had that much money, I would not be able to control it. Like, I think the reason why is because I like the game. I like the process. That's one of the reasons why it's one of the reasons why I like losing weight. I love the process of putting weight off. I don't like the process of getting fat, but I love waking up and feeling like I lost weight, weighing myself, and seeing that number pop up smaller than what it was before. I don't know if that's like a broken character, like a personality flaw. It could be. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't really looked into it that much, but it's definitely something that I love to do. I love the process of working to gain something, right? Same thing with money. Like, if someone just gave me $100 million up front, I don't think I would be happy with it. I know I wouldn't be happy with it. I'd be pissed. I would probably end up like jumping off a bridge, or I'd probably end up spending it all so I can make it all back again. It's like a pride thing. It's something that I like having. I like not having something and proving to myself that I can get it. It's the same thing with the podcast. Like, if I walked into this podcast already with 2 million listeners, let's just say, I don't think I would enjoy it nearly as much, right? Because every time I get a new listener, every time I get a new country that's listening to my podcast, or every time I see a returning listener, or every time someone sends me a message or says something to me out on the streets, or in public, or anytime anyone says anything about the podcast, I feel like I'm moving my car a little bit farther to the on the track, not to the finish line, because there's no finish line in my head, but just I feel like I'm making just a little bit more progress, a little bit, just another step in the right direction. And if I was already given the whole prize at the beginning, I just wouldn't have any respect for it. I wouldn't care about it. I wouldn't work hard. I would take a day off, right? I would take a day off. I wouldn't worry about it. And I think that's real. Like, I think that's a real thing, because you see people who come from a lot of wealth. You see movie stars. You see people who've been given everything. I mean, heck, if you're listening to this, I know you know somebody, you could be the person, but we all know somebody who, if they for some reason can't, they can't make rent, or they can't afford something, their parents will supplement their income as if they are working a full-time job. Or there's no sense of, holy shit, like I could actually completely ruin everything. And I think that's what puts fire under me. Like the idea that, even though I do think my parents would do that for me, I would never let them know. I would never tell them. There's something that's super beautiful about not having something and working towards something. Like there's something about trying to one up your parents, one up the generation before you. Because there's a lot of studies saying that this generation is going to be the generation that doesn't one up our parents, because it's always been that way. Since the early 1900s, late 1800s, the generation before us was always outdone by us, by the generation before it or after it. Yeah, so our grandparents made a certain amount of income, and then their children made more money than them, and then their grandkids made more money than their children. Their children. It's part of the cycle. And I think that's what's so addicting. I think that's why people love to work hard and achieve things. That's just my opinion, but that's how I feel about it. Like I like the idea that every week I'm getting a new listener. Every week I'm getting a new rating. Every week I know somebody else is listening to my podcast. That's why every Tuesday and Thursday I wake up and it feels like Christmas, because I get to look at my listens. Oh, someone's listening to this. They've never listened to this episode before. Oh, this video has more likes than the other one. Oh, this country, Philippines, I've never seen them listen to an episode, but now they're white now. They're no longer green, which on my podcast thing, green means your podcast's never been listened there. That's super exciting. Like, I think that's why people continuously do what they do. I think if you were given everything, you just wouldn't care. You wouldn't value it. You wouldn't care about it, right? And you see it with relationships too. Like you could have the most amazing person in your life, but if you don't respect the relationship, you don't respect the person, you don't create value in the relationship, it ends, right? It goes off the rails, because you actually genuinely have to respect the other person, care about the other person, and you got to work on that. You got to let that grow. You got to invest, and let it grow. It's a companionship, right? It's not just a friendship. It's a companionship. I think that applies everywhere. I think that applies with your job. I think that applies with your money. I think that applies with your health. Like, right? That's one thing that people, I don't know, for some reason people hate talking about health. For some reason in this society now, you can't talk about health. You can't call people out on their bullshit. Like it's insensitive if you call someone, if you're honest with somebody about their weight, right? It's insensitive. You get rewarded if you tell an addict who does heroin or cocaine, hey man, or hey girl, you probably got to slow down on that. Hey, you can't be taking those Vicodins all the time. That's not good for your health. Like you're addicted. You're not doing the right thing. You're not going to work anymore. You're not showering anymore. Like, hey man, you should probably lay off the alcohol, right? You're putting on a lot of extra alcohol weight. Your boss doesn't like you anymore. Your kids are kind of getting, they're getting feisty towards you. Your wife is sleeping on the couch now. Like, you gotta chill. You gotta relax a bit. We can do that with everything. We can do that with alcohol. We can do that with drugs. We can do that with painkillers. We can do that with work. You're working too much, man. Just relax. Enjoy things. But you can't do it with food. Like, why can't you do that with food? Why can't you tell a food addict, hey, man, you're eating too much? Right? Hey, man, you shouldn't be doing that. Because for some reason, we have this idea that if you call somebody out on their physical being, that is their health. Like, they're fat. It's offensive. It's a crazy concept. You wouldn't let a heroin addict keep on shooting themselves up every week. Why do you let a food addict continue to eat like shit every single day? Right? That's a real issue. That's something that has to be addressed. That's a bad thing. The truth is like the scariest thing anymore. It's like people hate to admit, people hate to actually look at things objectively now. I was talking about this to my buddies. Like, people hate honesty. You know what people hate more than anything? You know what people hate more than anything in the world? Is when they see in somebody else what they could have been if they did this, or what they should be if they didn't have this, or whatever insecurity they have reflects in another person. It's the same reason why you see LeBron James win another championship, and the people who don't like him hate him. I guarantee if you take all those people who don't like LeBron James, if you take all those fuckers that don't like Tom Brady, it's because they're very, very insecure people. They're losers. They're people that don't win. There's people that don't work hard. They're people that don't value themselves. It's people that they're constantly complaining in and out of relationships. They're constantly upset because their checking account is running to zero. They're constantly complaining because somebody at work is getting a higher promotion. They're constantly upset with whoever is above them. They hate the hierarchy. They hate having a boss. They say the boss is always out to get them. You know, they say their family hates them because they're different. They're unique. Well, no, it's because you have a shit ton of insecurities. You can't face the fact that you're living a life of a fucking loser, right? And those are the people who hate LeBron James, right? You know, and that's a scary thing. That's a scary thing that you can't put a stop to that. You know, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. It's frustrating. It's hard. You see it everywhere. You see a loser's mentality everywhere, right? And the hardest part is when I know people in my life who you can see that they're starting to climb out of the trenches. They're starting to make something of themselves. They're starting to avoid the trap of life. They're starting to find their security in themselves. You can see them. It's like a dog coming out of the water. They're starting to shake off the insecurities, and you can see them flying around everywhere, right? But then you see someone just pull them back just a little bit more. Whatever it is, whatever that insecurity is, it pulls them back. It puts them in a chokehold, and it squeezes the life out of them. You can literally see the life coming out of their face. I know people that when they say something that's an accomplishment, the way it comes out is they hate themselves. Hey, I did this. But you can see in their eyes, you're like, you didn't want to do that. You know? Who am I to judge? You're right. Who the fuck am I to judge? I shouldn't judge people. I mean, if anything, I'm nothing, right? I'm nothing. I have a lot of things that I need to work on, right? But I do think it's important to recognize, are you speaking out of truth, or are you speaking out because you hate yourself? And if the option's the first one, I applaud you. If the option's the second one, you got to fix that. You have to fix that. I speak out on my insecurities all the time. I have plenty of insecurities. You know, the first one is my intelligence. I never think I'm smart enough, right? How do I fix that? I read all the time. I read everything I can get my hands on. I read so I don't get Alzheimer's. One of the reasons why I read. I read so I can never feel like I'm less than in a conversation. Like, I was never the smartest one in school, right? I was put in the bad classes for the kids who didn't score high on the IQs. I was pulled out of class for speech impediment. I'll say two words right now that I cannot pronounce: egg and wolf. I can't say them, right? I have plenty of insecurities. I remember being in school, and I would avoid saying any word with R, right? If the teacher called on me and it was to read, I would skip over words that had R in it. You know? Like if it said world, I just wouldn't say it. I would say and I would just say the next word super quick. And the teacher would say, "Well, Mike, you missed a word," and then I would say it. And then I would hate myself after I said it. Right? I was insecure about the fact that I was smart as fuck when it came to math. Right? We used to do this game where we would, I think it was called like Around the World. You see that? I think it was called Around the World, and what we did was we would all take our chairs, put them in a big U in the classroom, and when we were in the U, we would all stand behind each other's chair. We would get a math problem, And if like I would be standing behind somebody, and if they got the answer right, I would have to sit down, and they would walk around people, right? And the teacher would say, "What's 2 + 2?" Person sit down, and the person standing up behind them, which is me, the person sitting down in front of me, would have to answer the question, and I would always win. I was so good at that game. I would always win. I felt like a loser for being too smart at math. I felt like a loser because every time we had an English assignment, every word I spelled was completely wrong. Every single word I spelled was completely wrong. All my grammar was completely off. I had run-on sentences for days. It's the irony is hilarious because I literally make money now off of having run-on sentences. I literally do a podcast now where everything I do is about run-on sentences. I speak in a run-on format. I say things that don't make sense. I say things that are out of context. I say things that don't have any logic to them, right? So I know what it means to have insecurities, but I also know what it means to recognize when I'm living my life and I'm making decisions because of my insecurities. You can't have that. You got to make decisions off of logic. You can't make decisions off of lack of security, right? Because it leads to nothingness. It leads to resentment to everybody. It's really hard to recognize that you're not doing well. And it's easier to recognize you're not doing well when you recognize that other people are doing well. It's a beautiful state you can get in when someone else is doing well, a friend, a family member, you applaud them, right? You say, "Good job, I'm proud of you." One of my cousins he's planning to start a clothing company. I'm so pumped for him, right? I've been down that road. I know it's a hard road. I probably won't start a new clothing company. Wink, wink. Maybe. Who knows? But I'm excited to share my knowledge with somebody else. I want him to do better than me. I want his company to blow up. I want him to do well. I want him to be happy. I want him to have a better experience than I had, right? And that's the mindset you got to have. You got to have that mindset. You got to want people around you to do well because it brings everybody up, right? You put a huge boat in the water, the tide rises for everybody. You get a winner, it brings everybody in the group up. But at the same time, if you have a fucking loser, if you have somebody who always gets mad at greatness, he gets pissed off when his friends do well. If you do well, they say, "Oh, you did well again," or "Yep, there goes Michael doing whatever again." "Oh, how many podcasts have you posted now?" Or "What were your sales last week for merchandise for your clothing company?" Fuck those people. You gotta cut them. Can't have that shit. That's my rant, dude. Serious. The quicker you can do that, the quicker your life will turn around. And if you don't do that, you're gonna be angry for a long, long time. And that's just the truth, man. That's just the truth. And you don't want that. Nobody wants to be angry all the time, man. It's just depressing, dude. Like, that's depressing. You don't need that in your life. You don't want that in your life. But back to McDonald's, man. Back to McDonald's. So I went to McDonald's this morning, and after the workout, after Taylor got her flu shot, and I went up to the drive-thru, and I said, "Can I get 2 sausage McMuffins?" Didn't say with egg. I just said 2 sausage McMuffins because they're $1.19. They're on the dollar menu, so I wanted them. I wanted cheap food. Cheap and delicious food. I ordered it. It pops up on the screen with egg. I'm like, "Oh, I don't want eggs, though." But I continue to order. "Can I get 2 sausage burritos?" Both for me. "Can I get 2 hash browns? One for me, one for Taylor." So we got everything, two sausage McMuffins with eggs, 2 burritos, 2 hash browns. I say, "Can I get those sausage McMuffins without eggs?" She adds a sausage McMuffin without eggs instead of removing the 2 eggs on the other one. And then I say again, I said, "No, can you just take off the eggs on the original 2 sausage McMuffins?" And then she said, "Yeah, I got it. And I said, "Okay, can you just do it so I can see it?" And then she like just, yeah, you're fine, you're good. And then I went up to the front line. I got my sausage McMuffins. I saw on the receipt that I got charged for 2 McMuffins with eggs, 2 hash browns, 2 burritos, and then 1 sausage McMuffin without eggs. I paid $11 at McDonald's. That's the most I've ever paid at McDonald's. I never pay that much. No one ever pays that much at McDonald's, unless you got a family and shit. But you never pay that much. And I was pissed. I was mad. I yelled. I was like, Taylor, can you stop? Because Taylor's like this. She's like shaking her arm around the whole time because she got a flu shot and she doesn't want it to get sore. So she's going like this the whole time. Just boop, 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 boop. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like getting pissed. I'm not mad at her. I'm mad at the sausage McMuffins. I'm pissed off about the sausage McMuffins. It ruined my day. And then I got out of the line. I didn't say anything. Didn't say anything to her. Wasn't mean. Wasn't an asshole. I've been in the food industry before. Last thing you want to do is to give someone in the food industry shit, because trust me, they're working too hard for the money that they're making. That's the truth. That's just capitalism. That's how it works, though. That's how it works. And I leave, but I eat them all. I eat everything. I'm like, fuck. Like, why was I even bitching? I ate everything. I literally have. Pull this shit up. Let me pull this up for you guys. So my MyFitnessPal, I track my calories every day, and I eat about 2,500 calories each day. 24.90. 2 sausage McMuffins with eggs, 960 calories for 2 of them. That's already 1,000 calories right there. 2 sausage burritos, 600 calories. 1 hash brown, 140 calories. 1 McDonald's sausage McMuffin without egg for 383 calories. Right there. I ate everything. I have 400 calories left. And guess what? After I ate them, I wasn't even mad. I thanked her. You know why I thanked her? Because I didn't know I wanted all of it until I got all of it. And I ate it all, and I was super fucking happy, and it tasted really good. And I was just being an asshole. I was just being a dick. And I apologize to that McDonald's lady. You're a great person. I was rude to you. I didn't say anything rude. I wanted to, but I didn't, because you know what? You don't deserve that. You don't need that in your life. I'm not going to be a burden to you. I'm not going to be bothersome to you. You're a great person. We're all great people. We're doing the best we can. But you know who's a better person? Bill Burr. Did you guys watch that? Did you guys watch the Bill Burr SNL? Dude, the dude went on and on and on. Bill Burr is the most important person. Comedians right now are literally keeping the country together. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care if you say comedians are offensive. I don't care if you say comedians are assholes. I don't care if you say comedians are just bad people, racist, sexist, whatever. Comedians are funny. And guess what? If you laugh at something that's offensive, but you laugh, you can't say it's offensive anymore. You shouldn't have laughed. The act of laughing, you're forfeiting your ability to call things out. I'm sorry. I believe in that. If you laugh, if you giggle, if you make a smirk at what a joke, any joke that comes from a comedian, you have no right to say anything. This joke was offensive. This joke hurt my feelings. Then you shouldn't have laughed. You shouldn't have laughed. But you did because it was funny. Jokes are only funny if the person isn't a racist or isn't sexist. You could tell if a racist person says a joke that's racist, you're like, that was fucked up, man. You're a bad person. You should not say that. Bill Burr gets up there and he just trashes every community. He talks about white women and how white women hacked the woke community, which was the woke movement, which was perfect. He talked about New York City turning into just a shithole again. He talked about New York City and the June, the gay month, Pride Month. And he talked about how African Americans. Why is it the black community gets such a shitty month? They get February. They get the shortest day of the year to celebrate the heritage. They get the day of the year where it's never sunny. It's always rainy. It's snowing. It's cold. It's shitty. They should get the longer one. They should get the people. They were slaves. They should get the longest month. And he makes a joke about that, and it was just super funny. And as you're listening to him, like, dude, this is what we need. This is what we need in this country. We need people to laugh again. We need people not to take themselves serious. I listened to a clip with Nancy Pelosi and Wolf Blitzer, and she's delusional. They're all delusional. Everybody's delusional. Trump's delusional. Biden's delusional. Pelosi's delusional. They're like screaming at each other. Like, oh, well, my caucus wants this, and the Republicans want this, and the Democrats want this, and the independents want this, and they don't know about this, and they're being offensive here. COVID, we listen to scientists. They don't listen to scientists. We need masks on. They don't need masks on. Like, what are we doing here? You guys are exhausting. Politicians are exhausting. They're complete bullshit artists. If you believe anything that a politician says, you're a fucking idiot. Like, you're dumb as shit. What are you doing? This is all a joke. Everything is just crazy right now. Don't get me wrong. There's real issues. But if you think that 4 years of Biden or 4 more years of Trump is going to be the end of this country, that is insane. I'm sorry. And I know people will hate me for saying this, but it's not. It's not going to be the end of anything. It just won't be. It doesn't work that way. There's so many systems in place. The only reason why people can get so upset is because they work themselves up and they turn their opinions and they look for people with the opinions and they just fucking yell at each other in agreement with everything. It's a weird time. Don't get me wrong. It's a weird time. But if you can take a step back and you strip away politics, if you just don't look at politics for 2 months or for 1 week, it feels like 2015 again. It feels like 2010. If you just put your phone away for an entire day and you don't go in front of a screen, you forget about politics. You really do. It's all here. This is politics right now. Your phone is politics. The TV is politics. You're not politics. You're not. You may have opinions on it, but the reason why you get upset about other opinions is because the opinions that you watch, they don't agree with you. They don't boost your opinions. They show the other side of the opinions and they present them in a way that's evil to piss you off because they want you to be mad. But fuck it, dude. Fuck all of it. We don't need that shit. We don't need that in our life. We need smiles. We need happiness. We need good people. We need to drop our insecurities. We need to eat McDonald's. We need to start eating McDonald's. That's what we need. That's the issue. Once we started trying to trash McDonald's and once like that movie came out saying just that guy who ate McDonald's every day and how fat he got. Once we started putting our chihuahuas in our purses, we started shaming Big Macs. We started telling people to drink Diet Coke instead of regular Coke. And then we started saying how Diet Coke's worse for you than Coke. Fuck, that's when things went wrong. That's when things went wrong. We need to send the kids back to school. I want to go back to school. Fuck it. I'm immune. I'm just kidding. That's going to get my video removed from YouTube. But that's it, guys. It's a shorter podcast today. I don't have much to say. But what I do want to say is I love you guys. You guys support me. I support you. You guys are beautiful people. You know what we have here. We have a community that cares about each other. We have a community that actually likes life. I love life. I love living. I love conversating. I love listening. I love learning. I love living. It's a good world that we live in. I'm telling you, this country is a good country, not without its flaws. There's plenty of flaws. But Jesus Christ, watch 90 Day Fiancé and then make your opinion on countries. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you made it this far, go ahead, subscribe, check out the links on YouTube. Make sure you like and hit that notification bell. If you're on a audio platform, please just go ahead and leave it a rating. That helps me tremendously. Love you guys so much. I'll see you guys next week on Tuesday. Peace out. See ya. Have a beautiful, beautiful day.